Hello gamers, recently there has been an influx of Fire Emblem 17 rumors, and I feel the need to address them, because I want to. I'm going to try to stay away from opinions until the very end, once I go off scripted, and just state all the stuff that various leaks say, before I get opinionated, of course. But let's get into them. First of all, are they real? Well, I feel there are things that can prove them as real, and things that can prove them fake. The first leak that came out of this bunch is all text from Emily Rogers, someone who, from my research, I don't know of leakers beforehand, is a little more controversial when it comes to leak, as some consider quite reliable, as she's leaked stuff like Mario Rabbids and past Indie Directs, but also a lot of people consider her and Nate Drake, who are pretty close ties, and technically the first leak of this was like back in like February from Nate Drake saying there's a new Fire Emblem game this year. Others consider those both very unreliable. My past experience, I believe I've seen stuff that both of them have gotten right. Of course, with the leaks, it's always possible that stuff is fake stuff is purposely put in the thread of leakers. It sounds like Russell T Davies did that with the Doctor Who casting of who the 14th Doctor was. It sounds like he mentioned like something about putting in stuff himself, so he could have put in fake ones as well. So it's not unprecedented to put in fake things for leaks to come up on, and that's always possible. Also, hearsay's a big thing, so again, any leak you should always take with a grain of salt to begin with, especially if it's only text. When it comes to the first batch of pictures, however, the weird thing about them is that they depict a female protagonist that fits Emily's descriptions, yet Emily used male pronouns, or typical male pronouns, when addressing the Lord or main character, yet pictures are very clearly, at least seemingly, female. Which, obviously, if that's real, that means we're probably getting an avatar. But if these pictures are fake, why change such a crucial detail about them? That's just really weird. Another thing that people have been saying that makes the images immediately false is the fact they are in Chinese, not Japanese. This one is pretty easy to brush off, as Fire Emblem games have recently released in China. And since these days games tend to release day and date, between different regions, it makes sense the localization will start early, and that also gives us an origin of all these leaks, the Chinese localizers. Again, always possible, still fake, someone doesn't know their languages, but it's not an immediately like, oh, this is immediately fake because it's in a different language. Always possible still. The last claim that I think is wrong, people used to say this is false, is this game has supposedly been done for over a year. Games are typically considered done for the most part once they enter the QA phase, which is, this is the testing phase, and depending on how much like importance there is on a title, they can stay QA for a very short time, or they can stay for QA in a long time. Advance Wars is been in QA for a long time. Earthbound Beginnings was in QA for 20 plus years. Actually, no, not even that. It finished QA. It was actually a fully finished product. Once they knew they were delaying Advance Wars, they probably halted QA, so it probably isn't an active QA, but it was probably in QA when it was halted. And plus, there's another leak that mentions a build date of not over a year ago, so even to begin with, I don't believe that one to begin with. I think that can very much be a notorious, like, oh, that's bad, but Nintendo is also notorious for holding finished games. Pikmin 4 supposedly was, like, in development, like, 7 years ago, like, by Miyamoto. We don't have it yet. Potential ports of the HD remakes of Zelda. There's a ton of stuff that could be done that just isn't being released now. Even rumors of, like, Xenoblade 3 having been done for a bit now. Or done with development in QA for a while. It was like, QA, you can easily, like, developers like, okay, we gotta get this out, let's put a lot of effort in QA, or, oh, this game, let's wait a bit on it, let's do very light QA. It really depends. But I mean, the last minor thing, another minor thing, is one of the pictures appears to have, like, a more modern hotel lobby. I don't think it looks too modern myself. It looks more like something out of Xenoblade, which is not the first time I'm going to say that, by the way. So I don't think it looks too modern, but definitely compared to like Three Houses, it looks a little weird. The last thing, though, I want to say in this segment is, if these pictures are real, why did they only come out now and not when they were taken? That to me is the one thing I cannot wrap my head around. If these were actually real, why now and not earlier? Of course, decide for yourself whether you think they're real or not. Use your critical thinking. I'm actually not going to say whether I think they're real or not in this video, because that's not important. That's for you to decide. Use your own thing. Here's all the leaks. You decide if it's real. Anyways, let's get to the first leak, which was from Emily Rogers on the Fama boards, which is, I'm assuming, some Nintendo board, since I'm assuming the name derives from Famicom. What she states in her text is that the next game is a new game, not a remake, and that involves not only Koei Tecmo, who collaborated with Intelligent Systems on Three Houses, but also Gust, from a more graphical department, and I believe Gust is a subsidiary of Koei Tecmo. She also mentioned that this was supposed to be a 30th anniversary game and has been done for over a year. Exit out there. Anniversary game makes sense, but it being delayed due to COVID also makes sense of like, oh, we're not going to make the 30th anniversary deadline. Let's keep developing it, then we'll just hold until we're ready to release it. Something like that makes a little bit more sense. The final thing she really mentions is a bit on... The final two things are a major game mechanic and a bit on a main character, with protagonist having a dragon mother and multicolored hair. As well as the main mechanic being some sort of summoning ring that allows you to summon past characters from the franchise, which is been very controversial of an idea amongst the Fire Emblem communities. You know, nothing really here. This part of the lease is like you either trust it or don't, because it's from someone who's leaked stuff in the past, been both right and wrong in the past. There's not much backing it up. But then the next day happened. We got new information from Reddit user. I'm probably going to botch the pronunciation. I will have it on the screen. Miasmadelta. They say that all that prior information is correct, that the game is partially inspired by the scrapped Wii game, which if you didn't know was like an open world after Radiant Dawn that, to my knowledge, even actually originally featured some Tellius characters and was supposed to be Tellius. They claimed that some of the mechanic isn't as bad as the internet was making it out to be, but they didn't elaborate on that comment, which immediately made people like, oh, this is fake. Like, the internet has not been kind. Even those who do believe these leaks tend to, like, say, oh, these are horrible looking, these are ugly looking. And those are the ones that believe it, and some people that don't believe it are also like, I hope this isn't real, because it looks awful. Again, I will give my opinions on the end, but, like, They did include screenshots. They claim that these are quite old, which actually does technically collide with another leak that we're getting to. I will be using translations of these images that were done by user RaincloudGray Gray on Reddit. I'm not the one who did these translations. I don't know how to translate Chinese. I will be using it because it allows us to see a lot more information. I just want to say, user RaincloudGray Gray is the translator of these images. They deserve praise for translating it. I did nothing. I'm just compiling all this information for you. So this is the image that looks like what people claim to be a more modern hotel. To me, it looks more like something like you would see in like more Dane in Xenoblade 2, or like Indal. It doesn't look modern. It doesn't necessarily look old medieval either. It's kind of like a middle ground, which I think would be actually a cool idea. To have like a kind of like more, like a lot of medieval elements, but like clearly a little bit of a weirder, more modern world. I think that could work. Xenoblade's great. But anyways, this definitely seems out of place compared to Three Houses. Locale-wide, I noticed that. The main thing to note on the menu, because everything else on the menu is pretty normal, which is the emblem ring. Which seems to be what is summoning past heroes. Also at the bottom, there's like the current time thing, so day-night cycle, which is pretty cool. I wonder if that'll like play into like map gameplay. Maybe like maps are easier at night. more reinforcements a day, stuff like that. I wonder if that, like, if this is real, if that's gonna have a major, like, gameplay thing besides the free roam. Obviously, we get the first look at what a lot of people are dubbing Toothpaste Chan. And keep in mind that when this picture was leaked, all we had was Emily Rogers' stuff. So a lot of people are freaking out. It's like, this is a guy with fat hair. But with later stuff, it's easy enough to assume that this is the female avatar that's seen, because it fits as a back view for what we see later as a front view. The next thing is just a basic more support screen. Just shows a couple of support partners. Then the middle one with all W, it looks like, it's hard to tell, but it looks like the portrait split red-blue hair. Which would explain the W's as a character limit test. Obviously, we can see a bunch of name stuff. And later we do see the conversation between the top character listed as Mobu and the one that you can actually see a little bit of cursor. It's hard to see, but that says Vandri Vandelay. So obviously those are the two characters. It's safe to assume the white-haired guy is probably Vandelay, where the more grayish-haired guys is Mobu. That's really all there is to say, other than no S supports, which is a little weird. I'm not going to complain myself. And then this is the weird thing, is later on we get information that may say the Lord's name is Diamond, or Dermon, or possibly even Dormont. They're all localizations of the same thing. Yet here, if we look at on the translated image of like all these lists of names and see Diamond, you can't really see the hair, but that is a very different face than we will see later, and looks more male, more masculine in shape. So is that a look at a male protagonist? Using the default name? Who knows? Also a bunch of names here. Cleo Claire. I'd imagine that Cleo would be the one selected since that hasn't been used in a Fire Emblem name before. Celine, Flan, Lapis, Abby, Vandelay. Some like weird one that I can't read well from where I'm sitting, but like Heatherica. Anna, makes sense. Mobu, Jacoba, which is a generic name in Fates, and Hentaskutsi. A lot of people that have experience with Gust developed games, like with art by Gust, say that they can definitely see the influence. I haven't seen a Gust game. I can't comment on it, but people are saying that they see the influence in these portraits. It seems to have like a lot of same face syndrome with a lot of the female portraits. Again, not really too much to say here. I think the big thing though is potentially we got the look at the male version of the Lord. The next one is actually a picture of what appears to be a support conversation. Obviously, it has autoplay, it looks like. And it's just Vandelay and Mobu, it looks like. Some Lord Lumiere or something. I don't know. Looks interesting. I think out of all the leaked image screenshots, this is the one that graphically actually looks the best. I actually don't think Vandelay looks that bad in this. The background looks like Three Houses backgrounds, but the actual character model itself doesn't look that bad. Speak for yourself on the actual character design, but like in terms of actual quality, it doesn't seem terrible. The final major leak that I'm covering in this video, at least as of 10:30 Pacific time and 1:30 Eastern time. I'm saying the time just in case more leaks come out after I'm done filming or even after I'm done editing. Is from a user named RØnin with the line through it on the r/anime Discord server. They released a picture that they thought was already on the internet, but apparently they thought it was public knowledge already, but nothing came up with reverse image search. Now, obviously, it probably is reverse image search since it's been memed in oblivion as Toothpaste Chan, but there's a crap ton of info here, which again, could be real, could be fake. It's leaks, you decide. Anyways, you see the character design from the front. Very, very mixed opinions from the internet on this design. Holy cow. Obviously, this is Toothpaste Chan. Obviously, like, yeah, that appears to be more of a female than a male, so Avatar, probably. Sword, obviously. Then they, like, this is the one time in the main video that I will give an opinion. I feel like it's definitely grown on me. I've essentially, with the state of these leaks, I essentially have gone through the 5 stages of grief of not liking them at all, and now I'm to a point of like, hey, it's actually not that bad. Including this picture. Though I will say, the color choices are strange. Having the multicolored hair and the heterochromia, I feel is over the top. I feel like the design would have been received better if it was like red on the outfit, red in the hair, but one eye was blue. I think that would have been received a lot better. I think it would have looked cooler as well. But that's just me. This user claims that the game may be called Fire Emblem Engage. Don't like that name. According to earlier leaks, they say the game may revolve around some sort of ring, which was mentioned earlier. They say you can summon every past lord, so they're narrowing it down from just characters in the past to just lords. Maybe this is going to be like Awakening with like how that like past characters works. And if this game is real and has Selith, I will consider it a win even if the game's bad. Forms of multiplayer, some kind of like battle mode and co-op mission mode. I don't know. Like, are you gonna be able to have multiple people like play on the map at the same time? That would be cool. True. Return to the central hub from Three Houses, but smaller. They say it's finished development as well, but don't believe the whole 1 year thing and claims that their picture is from a December 2021 build, which is only 6 months ago. If this isn't a high priority game, that makes sense for it to be like in QA for a while. For that long. They also say that this game is only one route. And they also say, they think they found 3 unique classes, Princess, Prince, and Tamer. The Prince's name being Diamond, which is a localization of Diamond, and Dermont. Obviously, that's all with the Prince, though, and not Princess, which is the Lord character, Prince, Princess. We don't know. I couldn't find it when I was actually, like, compiling information, but I'm pretty sure it was from the same source that said that there is proper free roam, like Shadows of Valentia, with dungeons and towns, and including an aquatic-themed village or something like that, as well as, it was mentioned that like, pretty much every game except for, like, Three Houses, characters would be recruited in different towns and place. Which is my biggest worry going from Three Houses of, like, are you going to have your whole playable cast from the beginning? And if these leaks are true, no. The last major bit is interesting to me, as mentioned in no weapon durability, but forging. Weapon trial returns and is actually important. Mini-games erase stats, and what they refer to as a mascot character, which I think means an avatar. So yeah, like, when it comes to information, that's all we got of them now. Hopefully we'll get a direct that confirms or denies all this pretty soon. Again, grain of salt, decide for yourself whether you believe it or not. Anyways, a couple more opinionated things. When it comes to no weapon durability, I'm not personally a fan of that, depending on how they execute it. I didn't like how it was done in Fates, but I think it actually works in something like Shadows of Valentia or Gaiden, of how they do, like, the no weapon durability of, like, very limited inventory slots of, like, maybe one weapon slot where you can do a weapon modifier, and then a bunch of regular items. I don't know. I think that works. That's really the only way I like not having durability. Weapon triangle is something that I've missed the past 2 games, so it's coming back. It's also important to note that, like, this is, like, the first time since I've joined the community that we've had, like, major leaks of a new main game. Because I joined the community after the first Three Houses trailer. And based on my information, it seems like people were fairly negative on the first revealed Three Houses as well as they are with these leaks. And even after the honeymoon phase of Three Houses is over, a lot of people tend to put it in the very top or near the top when it comes to ranking Fire Emblems. So it's safe to say, like, even if the reception is bad now, there's a good chance it'll lighten up if this is real, just because that's what happened in Three Houses. I've grown on all the pictures for the most part. The long red and blue hair is still over the top, but I don't hate it. And I've definitely grown on Toothpaste Chan a lot, actually. It's pretty surprising. When I first saw it, I was like, that's awful. But the more I've seen it, the more I like it. The summon mechanic is the biggest thing that worries me personally. If it's more like how Awakening did it, though, then it's fine. It's fine. If it's optional, I don't care too much. Again, The biggest thing, though, is if this is real, is will it have good map design? That's, to me, where Three Houses is the biggest letdown. I think Three Houses has a great story and great characters, but I don't like the gameplay much, which is why I like Three Hopes almost as much. Of like, it still has the writings, it still has the characters. I just don't care for Warriors gameplay much. If this game has a decent story and good gameplay, then it'll have won me over of at least liking it. Yeah, that's really all I have to say, honestly. If anything new comes out before this video is uploaded, I'll either put it, I'll like either add it on in editing, or if it's really big, I'll make another video. And if we get more smaller stuff throughout the day, I'll just put it as a pinned comment on this video. Anyways, see you next time.